I'm going to make a motion that we reconvene to open session. Would one of you like to second that, please? Thank you. I made the motion, and Member Nolenberg has seconded it. All in favor? Aye. That would be 3-0. Present members voting. Pledge of Allegiance led by myself. Please rise and face the flag. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. It's so nice to have students with us as we're doing the Pledge of Allegiance. They have their own rhythm, which is nice. A little slower than we normally do, but very enunciated. We are missing 2 board members tonight, but the rest of us are here to enjoy some special presentations in a moment. First, the agenda, item number 8 is announcement of actions taken in closed session. There were no actions taken in closed session. Let me just ask you, since we have a full house, if there are any seats open in the middle, if you don't mind maybe moving over so that some of those, we even have some folks in the hallway, which I don't know if our fire department would be happy about that. So if there's any empty seats, please allow others to sit there. We're going to go out of order, actually, and start with the Emperor Elementary School special presentation. Mr. Westgate.
Welcome, welcome, and if we can have our students who were right here. Come on in, guys. And Miss Gerling, who I think is with our students. I don't see her out in the audience, but they'll be coming in here just a moment. We were expecting to be 4th, so we were down the hallway, and come on in, guys. So, one of the things that makes Emperor so wonderful are, of course, these. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Are, of course, the students and staff of Emperor. Come on, you guys. Come on. Come on, Miss Gerling. Come on. So, instead of hearing me blab on for minutes and minutes and minutes, I figured it'd be best if we had the Emperor staff and students come on and talk about the wonderful things that we're doing. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Gerling here and her wonderful students that she's going to introduce.
Thank you so much. I'm going to have them come squeeze in so you can see all their beautiful faces. Come on in, guys. And girls. Good evening, Temple City Unified School District Board of Education, our wonderful Superintendent, Ms. Perini, our amazing staff that are also here to come witness our STEAM team, parents, and of course students and guests. Welcome. We are grateful for the opportunity to share with you a few of the STEM participatory opportunities that we've had at our school this year, thanks to your financial support, the generosity of our caring administrators, Mr. Westgate, Ms. Riddell, and of course Mr. Lynn, as well as various grants and parental support. Because we realize the value of your time, we're going to fast forward through a bit of our PowerPoint for you and get straight to the kids, but we hope that you'll enjoy our presentation and possibly even learn a couple things from our students. Before we have the 3 condensed presentations from our students, I'd like to share with you just a couple of things on your PowerPoints. The overview, it is slide 2 and 3 on yours, and you can read that at your leisure, but to cut our time, we're actually going to go straight into our presentations. So at this time, I would like to call up Ethan and Albert, Siraj, and Tuan, and they're going to teach you what they learned at Disneyland this last November.
Sound Waves by Ethan Liam, Albert Penn, Bon Yen, and Karaj Shah.
Sound. Sound waves are created by vibrations. When something vibrates, it pushes molecules to push other molecules in a certain direction. Sound needs a medium to travel through. Therefore, it cannot travel through a vacuum. Some people think sound travels best through a gas. Do you think that is true? Now we will do an experiment to see if your theory is correct.
Would any board members like to come up and join us in our experiment?
I know we all would. This first, how many? How many do you need?
7.
They could take as many or as few of you as possible. They have.
Well, I think the 4 of us are in. Are we in?
Nope.
I know them too well.
Somebody has to try. Let's go, Ken. Come on, Mr. Thomas.
No, Daddy. Daddy.
So first, represent sound waves will have to gather in a circle.
Alright. Stay as spread apart as possible and put your left hand on over the other person's right hand. Now, this we will do practice. Your right hand should be underneath your left hand, and your left hand should be on top of your right hand. And keep your palms face up like these two gentlemen right here. Alright. So this will be a practice. We're demonstrating a gas molecule. So what we'll do is Ethan will take his left hand and put it so he crosses over and hits this guy. So, and keep it going as fast as you can. Alright, so that's what we're doing. Now we're gonna demonstrate a gas molecule. Starting with Ethan. Ready, go. That took 6 seconds. Now, if you get closer together, we will demonstrate a liquid molecule. Starting with Ethan. Ready, go. That took about 5.5 seconds. As you saw, being closer together got the time faster. Now if you'll get even more closer, we'll do this again. Demonstrate a solid. Ready, starting with Ethan, go. That took 4 seconds. So being closer together means faster. So that's exactly what solid is.
I control your hands.
Now, as you saw, sound travels best through solids. Why is this true?
As you can see here, gases are very far apart and take a longer time to transfer the wave. While liquids are a bit closer together and can transfer the wave easier, solids are very packed together and can immediately transfer the signal.
Thank you. We hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Disneyland program, Energy and Waves 101.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So like I said, you might learn it from our 2 tonight. Great team, and that was a field trip that we really enjoyed, one of our first STEAM events that we did. Up next, I'd like to bring up the 4 ladies, Avani, Alicia, and my 2 Sydneys. And they are actually preparing to go to the Science Olympiad this Saturday. Rain or shine, it looks like it's going to be rain. But they are going to present to you their pasta mobiles, which they have been working on for the last 3 to 4 weeks every day. And so ladies, I'll turn it over to you.
rotel, lasagna, penne, manicotti, and spaghetti were used as the wheel, chassis, axle shaft, tail, and axle. Only minimal glue is allowed, and on the year-long track, the car must stay intact. Our group made many different models to test the various automobiles that could be created. Over the past 4 weeks, our vehicles have gone from traveling only 30 centimeters to 138 centimeters. At first, we piled on as many pieces of pasta as we could to weigh it down. After several test runs, the cars proved to be too heavy to move very far. So we tried lighter cars with manicotti tails. The manicotti produced drag and were only a minor improvement. Now we have found that a simple pasta mobile or a very carefully proportioned one can go more or less 135 centimeters close to our goal.
Over the course of a few weeks, we have tried and broken many examples and prototypes. The one that went the farthest had a triangle in the front to reduce drag and increase the speed in the front. On the back, we placed penne, spaghetti, and rotel as wheels. The base of the car was lasagna, and we added a small piece of lasagna on the back. We are excited to be part of Emperor Science of the team.
Okay. Ready, set. It's too hot. Okay. 3, 2. Wait, put the paper right here.
Problem solving right in front of your very eyes.
Okay. Ready? Okay, better work.
And I know you're all excited to go home and build your own mobile device. There we go. And our third and final presentation for the evening is going to be our newest baby at Emperor. It is our robotics team. It is only 5 to 6 weeks old, so we are still quite new, but we have a video, and a lot of it is time-lapse, so you can see in a very short amount of time what we've done in our very short amount of time. So we're going to go ahead and start our very short video, and then we're going to finale with a little fun robotics dance for you.
I enjoy being on the
Uh-oh, a little bit of nerves. Come on in, guys. So you're gonna face the board in your positions. Come on in all the way down. Okay, so it's quite simple, but it's very fun. And part of STEAM is art, and part of art is dance, and so we thought it would be fun just to entertain you for a few seconds with our robotics dance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the end of our presentation, but I just wanted to say thank you to a few people who have been integral to the upstart of our STEAM program. Of course, Mr. Westgate, Mr. Lynn, and Mr. Riddell as our administrators have been very supportive. Mrs. Conzaneri and her adorable instrumental in getting our Science Olympiad off the ground this year, and Mr. Sherman, who has been a great advisor for us. I'd also like to give a little shout out to John DeBoer, my former fifth grade student. I'm very proud of him. He's now at TCHS, and he is coming back and doing his volunteer hours with our robotics team, and we couldn't do it without him. And I'd also like to honor Nathan Tran over here, also a former Emperor Eagle. I guess he's never a former Emperor Eagle, but Emperor Eagle, TCHS now, and we're so lucky to have them. We have a boys team and a girls team, so they kind of help with one another, or one or the other, and we're very thankful for them. And I'd also like to honor Mrs. Cheng Ho, who comes by for meetings and gives great advice to us from her experience of robotics. So with that, we are done. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. Thank you for the financial support. It has made such a big difference at our school, and we're very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gerling. And kids, I'd say on behalf of the board that we look forward to what you all do in high school and every stage in between. Thanks so much. Thank you. Wow. What do you think? I didn't know. That was pretty cool. You don't know how long I've been waiting to see this. I'm sure you'll Okay, we'll pause for a moment if anyone wants to get up and head out. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. Well, let's sit here next time. You gonna sit down? Robert. Just out here. Really? Yeah. Did you Esmeralda start? No, you're just talking it through. Yeah. We got to sit here from the road. Go pick Amelia from our community. Yeah. That's our big 30 stuff from the last day. Sure, it's that long ago. And then we drove back here. Went to Ono's.
Thank you, everyone. So it was the Emperor students that were helping us so much with the Pledge of Allegiance. That was inspiring. We have 3 other special presentations this evening, and we're going to go in order now. And the first one on our list is further presentations regarding Rose Parade participants from 2015 from our district. Ms. Perini?
I didn't see Sarah. Is Sarah here? Oh, Sarah's here. Great. Would you guys come up? Sarah, Mackenzie, and Andrew. I still want to call you Ryan all the time. Those of you that were with us, please come face over here so everybody can see. Just turn right around right here. At our last board meeting, we were able to recognize students from Temple City that participated in the Rose Parade, and these 3 great students were not able to join us, so we thought it was very important to recognize them as well. And so we'll have you do what the students did at our last board meeting and just share your name and share your participation and involvement in the Rose Parade. Princess Mackenzie.
Hello, I'm Princess Mackenzie Byers, and I'm no stranger to Temple City. I was on the Royal Court this year, and so I got to ride in the parade and go to various events representing Pasadena along with 6 other girls. And I would just like to thank you guys so much for the immense amount of support coming from the school board and the school and teachers and just the community. And it felt really great to, be riding in a car in the Camellia Parade and like riding down the street and being like, this is my town. And I really hope that I represented it well. So thank you so much.
I'm Sarah Thomason, and I was a banner carrier for getting my gold award in Girl Scouts. And so I didn't quite get a ride afloat, but I still represented Pasadena and all the Girl Scouts by carrying the floats that got special awards for their creativity or different messages that they sent.
Hi, I'm Andrew Bell. I got to carry a banner during the Rose Parade, and it was a lot of fun. I was on a float, but it was so fun walking down the street and seeing everyone smiling and waving and those things. And I would just like to thank you all for all the volunteer help you do with extracurricular activities and stuff that makes life great. So thank you.
I just wanted to embarrass Andrew a little further and show you the detail on his epaulets, the 2015 Rose Parade, and then on the back, a little spin. The scarf also has inspiring stories, which was the theme of this year's parade. As I shared at the last meeting, the Tournament of Roses provided a couple of gift items for them. One is for their parents to display a picture of the tournament house on a tile. And then there is a MAC light in there for you with the tournament logo as well. So thank you. Enjoy the gifts. Thank you for representing us so well.
Thank you very much. Oh my goodness. Colors. Okay, thank you. Moving on. Next special presentation, Ms. Perini, a Golden Apple Award recipient. Award goes to
Don Tarrant.
Yay.
It's a big night when Frank S. Darrow comes out and finally. It's a big event. Well, this morning we were able to honor Dawn in front of the Northwest San Gabriel Valley administrators, and so I gave a brief little speech about Dawn. And so it's a variety, just in case her husband's videoing it. I thought I'd share something a little bit different. So I'm going to read her list. It says, Dawn believes there are few things as rewarding as volunteering. Dawn has served in countless ways. I'm just going to buzz through this list. I won't hit them all because we'll be here for a while. PTA room rep at Longden for 9 years, co-chair Longden 6th grade promotion, team mom for sports, Girl Scouts, PTSA at Temple City High School, executive positions, chair positions, grad night, entertainment, chair, council. I'm exhausted just listening. The band boosters, secretary, and then Dawn was very instrumental in ensuring that our students had the uniforms and the instruments they needed for the Rose Parade. I've got to serve with Dawn on that committee, and I was just so pleased and impressed by all the extra stuff that Dawn does, just on a global level. And then the district strategic plan, serving on the Measure S, and then council, the Camellia Festival 50th anniversary, chair that.
70th.
70th.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't look that old. And then just received the honorary service award from PTA. So, Dawn, as I said this morning, thank you for your service. The Golden Apple Award, we have some recipients here in the room tonight. Mr. Jambazian, Frank, who I just made fun of earlier, and Mr. Sparnick, Bob. So we appreciate the service. We realize as administrators and as a school district, we couldn't do nearly what we do without our volunteers and our parents being so involved with our students and our school site. So we have your plaque that I'm going to give you back again from this morning.
Oh, thank you.
And something you didn't get this morning, flowers.
Oh, thanks.
Dawn, on behalf of the school board, and I know member Ridley and member Tiet, who are not able to make it tonight, feel the same way. Thanks for all you've done for our community. I see a lot of great examples of extremely dedicated community members in our community, several of which are here right now, so thanks to all of you, especially to you this evening. And we also have a special presentation regarding our school counselors. Deanne Sharada.
Actually, hold seat, and I'll start us off. My name is Deanne Sharada, and I am the mental health team coordinator for the district and also a guidance counselor at Temple City High School. And every February, the very first week of February, is National School Counseling Week. And we like to come and let the board know what we've been up to in the past year, what services we're providing to students. And so this year, the school counseling team is assembled to explain to you a little bit about what's happening at each level. School counseling, just if you're not familiar with the way it works, is divided into 3 different domains. We have academic, personal, social, and college and career. Our job is to remove barriers to learning. And so whether they come in the academic realm, personal, social realm, or college and career, what are we going to do after high school? Let's make a plan. That is something that we try to systemically approach at every grade level. So I'll let them tell you that themselves. They have a really amazing team. So we're going to start with the elementary team. And I believe, is it Wendy? Are you beginning? This is Wendy Bars.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for supporting counseling in our schools. My name is Wendy Bars, and I'm the counselor at Emperor Elementary. And elementary school counseling is preventative guidance. And adults often ask counseling in elementary school, you know, why? Really? How come? You know, the students are so young. What kind of problems could they possibly have in elementary school? So some students in elementary school experience barriers in their formative years that, if they're not addressed, can prevent academic achievement and personal growth. So the knowledge, attitudes, and skills the students acquire in the areas of academic, career, and personal social development during their elementary years serve as the foundation for our future success. And we strive to front load our students the best we can to ensure that they achieve their success.
Hi, my name is Jenny Time, school counselor at Wilson Clover Elementary. People often ask, what do elementary counselors do? As elementary school counselors, we support all students in the personal, social, academic, and career domains as prescribed by the American School Counselors Association. In the personal social domain, our guidance lessons are focused on safety, assertiveness training, and bullying prevention. In In group and individual counseling provides support and coping skills, behavior management, relational aggression, and kindergarten readiness skills. Moreover, we help with assessing threats, crisis management, promote school-wide programs like character education. In the academic domain, our guidance lessons are focused on test-taking strategies. In group and individual counseling, we provide support and study skills. We are also involved in student success team, individual education plan, and Section 504 plan meetings for students. Lastly, in the career domain, we provide guidance in career awareness. We also coordinate career day and career week.
Hello, my name is Judy Schmidt. I'm the school counselor at Longden Elementary. What do our elementary school students deal with? Well, as families are stressed and seem to have less time with their children, the school counselor takes the role of helping students deal with challenges, many of which are very severe. Incarceration, homelessness, suicidal ideation in the family, childhood depression and anxiety, domestic violence, substance abuse in the family, and child abuse at home. At the end of the day, when students come up to us to thank us because things are better at home, or they're able to solve their own friendship problems, or their parents are speaking to them in a calmer manner, and more, we know we have done our job and made a difference. We have learned that students we have reached out to do come to school with a more positive attitude and can deal with their challenges more effectively. We believe that students we are involved with are more resilient because of the skills we have taught in guidance lessons, group, and individual counseling. We're proud of what we do daily to make a difference in the lives of our students with the resources available to us. And we feel privileged and grateful to serve the students of Temple City Schools. Thank you for your ongoing support. And next we have Cecilia Vallardo-Porter talking on behalf of Oak Avenue.
Hi, my name is Cecilia Vallardo-Porter, and this is my second year as a counselor at Oak Avenue. I have about 10 years of experience as a counselor, but I am really excited to be here at Oak. Oak Avenue has 2 counselors, myself and Miss Lori Johnson. And at Oak Avenue, we are divided by domain. We encourage our students to come and see whatever counselor they are most comfortable with. So we are not divided by alpha or by grade level. We are divided by domain. Ms. Johnson supervises all of the programs that fall under the personal social domain. One of the many programs that she oversees is the WEB program. And WEB stands for Where Everybody Belongs. And it's a year-long program. On the very first day of school, the incoming 6th graders attend school and they are mentored by 8th grade students that applied to become web leaders. These students were recommended, and throughout the year they serve as mentors, making the students feel welcomed, helping them out, sitting with them at lunch, and just being positive role models and helping them to be successful students here at Oak. I oversee the Promoting Success program, which is under the academic career domain, and the Promoting Success program is designed to help students who are failing their classes to learn better study skills, organization habits, and to work with parents and students to keep the students accountable for their grades. We monitor them weekly. We meet with the parents. We also meet one day out of the week in group, and we cover different topics that will help them to be successful so that they don't double fail. As counselors, I think that we play a crucial role in linking families to the resources that are available. So I really do want to thank you all for supporting us in all of our efforts. And now, Mr. Kerry Smith from Temple City High School.
I'm actually going to not talk about my name is Kerry Smith. I'm a first year counselor at the high school. I worked last year as an intern, actually I think at almost all the other sites here in the high school, except for Oak and Longden. So I've worked a lot with most of the team members behind me, and they've all kind of helped me put together my own kind of counseling formula. something that kind of stands out to me compared to when I was in high school, because I went through the Temple City School District, is when I was in high school, the counselor was somewhere you went if you needed something, but it wasn't necessarily somewhere that reached out to you. And so it was kind of like if you had a problem, you went there, but if you didn't have any problems, you may not see your counselor for a while. And that's a lot different now. So what we pass around is our division of duties, and then the other one is our calendar. And so a big part of what the counseling program at high school is now is it is a program. There are certain features and activities and tasks that we complete throughout the year that keep us pretty busy nonstop. So we focus on the college and career piece a lot through our Naviance program, through student success coming and planning 4-year plans for how they can get to a certain school or university for career exploration as well. We do a lot of academic work with we do DNF counseling with students. We run the student success team meetings, and then oftentimes we will kind of do mini tutoring sessions with students when we meet with them, because we notice, the homework is kind of falling off, or the testing quizzes are kind of off base. We also run the PSAT, and we proctor the KC as well as the AP exams, so we're pretty nonstop busy with our programs. But I think the other, I would say, half of our job is the stuff that's not on your sheets, which is kind of not really a part of the program, but it's the day-to-day, just things that come up. So a lot of my day, I can sit down, I've got a plan, and by 9 o'clock, I've already skewed off plan. I've had to address certain issues as they come up, and I think that's something at the high school, having an extra position this year, which is the position I got, has been very helpful. As an intern, I would notice that when there's a crisis situation that would come up, there's the person who's directly addressing the crisis. There's usually a team member who's supporting them, but then that leaves 3 people for the other 1,997 students, and it starts to make it so that in a crisis situation, the whole team kind of gets bogged down, and we kind of lose the progress that we're making towards our programs. So having an extra person and myself, I feel like we're a lot more able to address the certain needs without having to have it negatively affect the programs that we're designing and working on. One of the other things that we've been kind of working on this year is combining our college and career presentations through the Naviance website with our students with Common Core. So we've been doing a lot of work with the English teachers, as well as Ms. Shirata working with psychology and US history teachers to give a presentation to them that wasn't just a counseling presentation. So they talked about making positive risks. So and it helped achieve both the Common Core standards for college and career readiness as well as for speaking and listening. And then for my sophomore Naviance lessons, we created a resume and we had them do a Myers-Briggs personality inventory. And part of that was allowing them to analyze, okay, what skills do I have for this resume that I can use in an interview? But then at the same time, we were able to tie the resume back to Of Mice and Men. So I made a sample resume that directly related to the book that they had all read already, so that they're able to kind of synthesize the material from what we're giving them to what they're teaching them. So it's been a fun year so far, so I'm looking forward to working with it as it continues. And then we have Mr. Acevedo for the learning center.
Thanks, Carrie. Good evening. And I'm going to present to you guys a day in the life. As you know, the alternative school setting is even more a responsive type atmosphere than what Carrie described for the high school. You have your day planned, it takes off on you and just responding to different issues that come up. So here's a day in the life. I'll try to get it under 2 minutes. I arrived at the Dr. Doug Sears Learning Center, and right away he was a brand new student to build rapport with, provide an orientation, evaluate his transcript, quickly put his classes into areas, and walk him over to his new class and introduce him to his new teacher. On the way back to my desk, I ran into a student whose attendance percentage is below 50% and had a brief counseling session. Back at my desk, Angie and Brittany, they need CSLRs to graduate, asked me where they could complete their hours, so I connect them to a local location. Afterwards, John sits down before me and asks for reevaluation to transfer back to Temple City High School. He explains that he needed a break at the time, and that's why he transferred to us, and now he thinks he's ready to go back. Next, Lyle approaches with questions about the placement exams for Pasadena City College. Then, Kyle, a senior who has not yet received an admissions or registration email from Mount San Antonio College, comes in and asks for my help. So we look over his emails and we don't see it. I call Mount San Antonio College. They say, well, he has to come into admissions. And I say, well, can you guys just send an email again? And they say they can, and they do, saving him a trip. Our quarter system results in 8 grading periods. Today, I hand-delivered progress reports. This allowed the opportunity for brief counseling with each student, as I noticed no marks for lack of earned credits. It's lunchtime now, and I go outside to interact and be accessible to more students. Tony asked me if I ever smoked weed, which leads into a discussion about being goal-oriented, taking care of business, not failing classes, and the importance of not making marijuana a priority, as some people do. He says sometimes that's him. After that, a group of 3 students wanted to know their GPAs, so we walked back over to my desk and we look over that information for them. Then our partners from the Santa Anita Families Youth Employment Program arrived to continue enrollment for a handful of students who are eligible and are interested. Then Tina arrives for her scheduled appointment. It's good to see her here and back on track after her recent challenge that negatively impacted her attendance, academic success, health, and family trust. We print out the articulation agreement from Pasadena City College to Cal State San Bernardino's Registered Nurses Program utilizing assist.org. Then we complete her application to Pasadena City College and begin her FAFSA. Once she leaves, I return a phone call to a parent who vents, lashes out at me about her runaway student who continued to attend school even while gone from home. He hangs up and calls me back 5 minutes later with an apology for his own unacceptable behavior and for putting me down. The student has returned home and will be graduating June 8th. At this time, I debrief with our Honorable Administrator Chris Sewell, clear my desk, as I leave to prepare for another day. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Martine Gonzalez. I'm another representative of the high school. As you can see before you, we are able to offer a lot of services to our students throughout the district, and we realize that all of that is made possible because of your support and the support that we have from the administrators on our campus. So we look forward to coming back next year and telling you about all the great things that are going to happen in the year to come. And once again, we just thank you for your time and all that you do.
Before you all run away, any comments, board members?
We're gonna go.
Ken Nolenberg has a general question. Into the microphone, please.
Have the counselors been able to introduce any of the students to the apprentice program?
Not yet. So we are hoping to do that. Our ROP programs, he asked about apprenticeships. Our ROP programs are in flux and changing a little bit. But we would like to continue. We know that that's a need, the technology piece, and working on that with students for the apprenticeships and the students who aren't intending to go to a 4-year school. And it is something that we are having conversations about and what that's going to look like with the changes in ROP. So we do have the materials and greatly appreciate it when you bring them by. Thank you.
All right, well then I'm going to have the last word. Unless Mr. Billy want to say anything?
I just want to thank all of you for what you guys do. I know we don't often say this to you guys, but you have no idea how valuable you guys are to the kids, but I think you do. And, you know, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for continuing to do that for the kids. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just say, just real quick, I know we're behind schedule, that's my fault, but you know, I value so much what all of our counselors do, and I want to thank every single one of you for coming out tonight when there are other things you could be doing. You know, from the elementary level, I have a very good idea of what elementary counselors do and what they can do, and so I value all of you very highly. Judy Schmidt is the rock at Longden for our family, and we're leaving Longden finally after this year, but Judy Schmidt is the one that's always been there and has helped my kids and many others. And you know, especially our middle school counselors and our high school counselors, they're dealing with a lot of things that our kids have thought of or come in contact with that you can't possibly imagine. And I had a chance to call at Oak Avenue and speak to a counselor when I learned that one of my daughter's friends was possibly interested in hurting herself. And that situation I think was resolved very well, and that student is doing very well now. So I think it's a great credit, not only the counselors, but also all the administrators. So on behalf of the board, and again, I know Member Tiet and Member Ridley would feel exactly the same way. They cannot be here for personal reasons tonight, but I want to thank every one of you for all the work you do. Thank you.
Dawn, don't forget there's another presentation at midnight.
That's at a secret location. Okay. And give it just a second for things to settle down. Okay, thank you. So next on our agenda is public comment. I do have one request for public comment, and that is Deborah Arviso. Hello, proceed.
Good evening. My name is Deborah Arviso. I am the Education Coordinator for NAMI. That stands for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. It's amazing that the school counselors were here because this is pretty relevant. I'm going to ask you for your help in helping me promote a free workshop. It's Advocating for Your Child, the IEP Process, and Community Resources. This is Saturday, March 14th at the Rosemead Center. There will be free parking, free lunch, free breakfast, and also free credits, 5 hours for foster and kinship. This is co-sponsored by NAMI Los Angeles County Council, the City of Rosemead, Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health, and Pasadena City College. So I'm going to give you these. I believe you also got an email. Okay. The other thing I wanted to try to sell you, by the way, everything NAMI does is free. Okay. We have a wonderful program that's free called NAMI Ending the Silence. It's an in-school presentation about mental health designed for high school students. What we do is we pretty much camp out in a health class, and we try to get to at least 4 health classes during the day. We give out some information, especially about how to help a friend. So I'm going to give you this for your consideration. Do you have any questions?
Let's see, the workshop is designed for parents to know what to expect from an IEP meeting, is that
So
right?
parents and caregivers, however, educators, practitioners, advocates, counselors, volunteers, social workers, grad students, anybody who works with children or families could benefit from attending this. And like I said, it's free and open to the public.
And that's Saturday, March 14th.
That's correct, at the Rosemead Center. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Any other questions or comments? Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you.
Are there any other requests for public comment? Hearing none. Let's move on to updates on district issues. Business services, Ms. Sorrell.
Good evening, Mrs. Knight.
Thank you. Instructional services, Dr. Francis.
Yes, I'm going to point out something on the website for all of us. You have at your place a handout that kicks off our local control accountability survey. You'll recall that last year when we began writing our LCAP plan that we enlisted the voices of our parents, our staff, our teachers, our leadership team, our community members, our board members. And so on the front page of our website, you'll see that we have an English version of a survey that will take less than 2 to 3 minutes, as well as our Chinese version. And so this handout will be going home to parents next week in their Wednesday or Thursday folder. And then on the back side, there's information on where to find the handouts that we displayed on February 5th at our Plug into Education Parent Evening. And so we just wanted to point that out to the community and to our parents that the survey is now open. It closes on Friday, March 27th, and then we'll tabulate the data and use that to inform this year's LCAP. Many of the questions that you'll find are going to be related to that snapshot sheet that I've shared with the board before that has our action steps listed. Our goal is to invite the community into helping to measure the effectiveness of the action step from not as important to very important. And in addition, we have some global questions asking for big ideas. What would you like to see in the ideal classroom? And so please take some time, log in, front page, and answer our survey questions. And then last but not least, March 12th, we kick off the musical matinee, 42nd Street, so we're excited at that, as well as March 13th through the 15th will be the performances at the San Gabriel Civic. So we appreciate all the work that Firesides has done, and the band, and Mr. and Mrs. Ferntile, and Mr. Byers, so thank you.
Thank you, and I pulled out my phone not because I was being rude, but to check these, what are these called, Mr. Bell?
QR code.
QR code. Oh, Annika answered before you did.
What's my question?
She gets an A and you get a B+. It's very interesting. And I note that the input that's being requested from the community is really quite a bit more detailed and covering quite a bit more topics than in the past. Thank you so much. Okay, Personnel Services, Mr. Kuhnhaupt.
Things are just moving along, Mr. President.
Yes, they are. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Bargaining unit comments. Ms. Maury, anything?
Moving along here too.
Moving along, okay. Let's see, Robin, Penn. Okay, thank you. And Dave, no else? I see Dave? No? Okay, all right. Lucky 13, student board member comments.
All right. I enjoyed seeing all the different groups from our schools in the community parade, and I walked the parade 2.5 times, I guess, with different groups. So that was fun. This week is our ASB elections for the 2015-2016 officer positions on our high school ASB. The election assemblies are taking place. One was yesterday, and the other two are going to be Thursday or tomorrow and Friday. Speaking of our high school musical, 42nd Street, the road show is performing at the elementary schools and at Oak tomorrow and Monday, and then tomorrow night at the Founders Day dinner. We have a couple sports teams for our winter sports season that made it to CIF, so congratulations to water polo. They passed round 1 and unfortunately lost at round 2, but we're very proud of them for making it to CIF. And girls and boys basketball also made it to round 1 of CIF, and they played their games last Friday and Saturday, and unfortunately lost the teams as well, but we were very happy that they were able to compete. Our annual TCHS art show was last Thursday after school, and that was very successful. Our ASB students at the high school, some of the students are giving the Visiting WASP Committee a campus tour this Sunday, and that's in correlation with the WASP accreditation that's taking place this week, beginning on Sunday and going through Wednesday. On this Friday, we're having a penny carnival with our pennies for patients, and there will be whipped cream pies and teachers, so that will be fun. And Oak is starting their Seas Candy fundraiser this week, and the 7th grade teams at Oak are going on their field trips next Tuesday. That's it for me, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Board member comments. Why don't we start down on what's now the end? Member Nolenberg.
Just a couple of quick ones. I'd like to thank all the people who gave us special presentations today. Very informative, and it reflects how well the different school functions are coming together. A couple of quick things. I went to the STEAM meeting that was held at La Rosa, and saw a lot of the kids participating in some of the STEAM programs that are available there. Odyssey of the Mind is coming up in San Marino this Saturday. For those who would like to come, there's 2 or 3 presentations from some of our schools. Longden and Oak are participating. Also, remind people that March 3rd is an election for the city council. And hopefully people will vote. And I was pleased with the committee of that. It was a great community event, brought a lot of people together. Also on, I think it's March 1st, there's going to be a meeting for the century planning that's coming up, of what the city will look like in the next 50 years or so, for those who want to go. It will influence how the city council is going to spend the money of the city and the community, and the direction the community will be going. For those who are interested, and that's it.
Thank you. Member Bell.
All right. Okay. Well, I as well was very appreciative of all the presentations today. You know, again, keeping in mind why we are so strong as a community, so strong as a school district. And it is such an honor for myself to have an opportunity to understand and learn and be a part of all of this. Well, I can say I've had quite a busy February. That might be an understatement. Camellia Parade went fantastic. So glad to be able to help kids learn and understand our community traditions, why we build these floats, and the symbolic meaning for it. Got a chance to help set up the luncheon with a couple of my friends over there, Mr. Escudero, Mr. Wardlaw. We had an interesting time setting up tables. Was it teal? Was it turquoise?
It was Tiffany blue.
It was Tiffany blue. I was mistaken. I apologize. You know, I want to congratulate all the schools who built floats. I think all the elementary schools participated this year, which was fabulous. I'm so happy to see that. And going forward now, Founders Day. Okay. That will be tomorrow. And it's looking and shaping up to be a fantastic event. We have some fantastic honorees, such as our very own Superintendent, Ms. Perini, honorary service recipient on behalf of council, as well as the Kiwanis Club, which in my opinion has been long overdue for them to receive the Golden Oak Award. Very, very happy to see them. Just as a reflection of, again, how strong we are as a community, last year we had on average, and they say that's about the average of 125 attendees on any Founders Day event. Tomorrow we are already at 178. So it's going to be a very busy night. So far everything's worked great. I'm the chairperson this year, and I've worked with a fantastic team who actually, as of right now, are out there pulling tables at First Baptist Church. So I will be joining them after we adjourn. So everything's been going good. About the only hiccup I've had is I've got 1,200 more lollipops than I initially wanted, but we'll figure out how to get rid of those. I'm looking forward to joining Emperor, Cloverland, Oak Avenue, and the high school this Saturday for the County Science Olympiad. Again, these are many of the things that I've been dreaming about for a long time. And Ms. Gould, thank you. Mr. Westgate, awesome. It's the first year for both elementary schools as well as the middle school. It will be raining, and I think it's going to be awesome. I like rain, except maybe I need new shoes. I'm looking forward to seeing the kids just, you know, enjoy themselves and discover how much of that world is around them, because it's something that's really, really going to be beneficial as they grow up. So thank you, and that is probably more minutes than I wanted to.
Thank you, Member Bell. Yes, we get to take longer this evening since Member Chiet and Member Ridley are not here to say their piece. Let's see, I'm not sure what's left to say. I'll just also add I very much enjoyed all the presentations tonight. I really enjoyed hearing from the counselors, and thank you for setting that up, and thank you for being here. You know, our counselors are such an integral part of what we need to do. I could go on and on really, but all the different populations we have with their various, well, I guess you could say needs or issues, because they're not all the same. I know we have a great variety of areas in which our counselors are called to their duties, so it was great to hear about that tonight. I look forward to going through the materials that we got. The Camellia Festival was another outstanding display by our community, and you know, I had the opportunity to judge some floats, and so, Member Bell, I believe that you assisted on one of those projects, so I want to personally tell you, you did an outstanding job. The highlight, of course, and there's another judge in the audience, Mr. Gorbaugh. The highlight, of course, for the whole weekend was going through, looking at the floats and having the students explain to us the different parts of it and the different parts of the camellia plant, which I didn't even know existed, and that they could be burnt or microwaved or fried or charcoaled or left in the sun or rubbed on your jeans until they get shiny. And just hearing from them, and in particular, of course, the floats by our 3 elementary schools, Cloverly and La Rosa combined, was one float. Those students, they were incredibly engaging, and I could have spent a lot more time. As it was, I think I put us all behind schedule. Ms. Perini and I had a chance to speak a little bit at the lunch that day with State Senator Ed Hernandez, who was there to be a muckety-muck and take photographs, but it was a nice opportunity to get to know him a little bit, and he expressed a sincere interest in learning more about our community, which is now a part of his district, which it had not been before. And I was fortunate enough also to have the opportunity to take down the tables and chairs, roll the tables to the closet, fold up chairs. I recall Miss Temple City assisting with that in her gown. I don't know where you were, Mr. Bell. I mean, okay, I guess we'll let you off the hook for that one small thing. Anyway, it was a great event, and I don't have too much more to say about that. The art show, I did have a chance to attend the art show, and for those of you that were able to see it, and I had a chance tonight to see one of the art teachers. You know, all of the product was impressive, especially some of our younger high school students and what they can do in a, quote, beginning art class. Our students are able to actually sit and pay attention to something for a long period of time and produce something pretty extraordinary. I think I'm done. Let's see, moving on. Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Pomeroy. I don't really have much else to say since it was so well covered. Just wanted to thank Mr. Westgate and the Emperor team. I see you and Jessica are on another creative date here at the board meeting, and so keeps the marriage strong and together. So, but thank you. We've done a lot of work this year in a short amount of time, and it's really a cooperative effort with the good leadership of Mr. Lynn and us having the opportunity to dream and design and create wonderful opportunities for our students. And I just want to thank the board for the freedom and flexibility that they've allowed all the school sites to go into areas that we haven't been before, and we're seeing excellent results, and just the extremes that students will go to when they're excited about learning. And so I just want to thank the administrators for providing that opportunity for our students as well. Camellia Festival was great. We had a fun-filled weekend. We had an opportunity to interface with a lot of people out in the community and a lot of the students, and just hear from the community how excited they are about the things that are going on in our schools, and also how pleased they are with the opportunities that we offer our kids. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Written communications. Are there any written communications? I did not receive any. Member Nollenberg.
Yes, I received one email. The city of Temple City is going to have a community emergency response team training on March 14th, 21st, and 28th, which is, I think, a Saturday, 3 Saturdays in a row. It's free for anybody that wants to go. They learn about emergency procedures. I think last week we voted on emergency plans. This is something that, if someone has time, is well worth it. I was one of the charter members. I went to the first class. It was nice. They give away a hard hat and a lot of the equipment that you need for emergency response at the end. Well worth the time.
Thank you. Any other written communications? No? Okay, so we'll move on to our discussion information item agenda. These are items that the board would like to discuss or have information presented to them. These items do not require board action. And we'll move on to item number 17, E-rate update. Michael Lynn.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity to give you an update on E-rate. There have been a lot of changes this past 2 years on E-rate. E-rate's original intention was to provide subsidies to districts, school districts, and libraries on telecommunications and internet access. Well, that's now crossed out. E-rate is about broadband to schools and libraries. Applicants receive 20 to 90% discount, they used to, on the cost of eligible services, and it's not a competitive grant. All applicants receive some funding. All right, so now we're version 2.0 and 2.1, and let me explain what that is. June of 2013, President Obama called for an expansion of E-rate program. The minimum was to bring 100 megabits per second to 99% of schools nationwide, including the rural school districts, and put Wi-Fi in schools. And that was 2 years ago. For a year, the FCC, Federal Communication Commission, collected input from the stakeholders in July 2014. They adopted the new E-rate modernization order. The nickname is E-rate 2.0. A small revision was made in December of last year, and that small revision is 2.1. That doesn't affect us. We're basically, what applies to us is 2.0. And it focuses on broadband. Here are some of the changes. There's no change to eligibility of broadband. We have broadband 1 gigabit per second to LACO. Voice services phased out 20% per year. We currently we have voice over IP, and the voice equipment will be removed from funding. Video services equipment removed as well, and all non-broadband services, email, web hosting, voicemail. Again, voicemail will be phased out over a span of 5 years, but email, we pay for email. There's a slide later, I'm going to show you how much that's going to cost us moving forward. And web hosting, which is our tcuc.net website, that's going to, we're going to have to incur the cost instead of getting that 80% discount. And caching is out. Caching because broadband, if you cache everything locally, instead of having every computer download updates, you can cache it locally, and then that local node becomes the distribution for local computers. So that will speed up the network. Managed internal broadband services, service added. That's, I had to ask, I did some research on this. My understanding is this is consulting firms coming in and helping us with getting the network services set up. So what does it mean to us? There are two categories. There used to be different names, but now they call it categories 1 and 2. Category 1 is pretty much guaranteed. Actually, I should take that back. It's quite assured. Nothing's guaranteed. And it's focused on services necessary to provide connectivity to buildings. So that's one of the major components of E-rate 2.0. Category 2 is somewhat likely that we're going to get. It depends on how many people apply, how many districts apply, and there's a the final few slides. I'm going to show you some ways we can anticipate whether or not we're going to get Category 2 funding. In Category 2, the focus is on connectivity to devices within the buildings. So it's intra-district, and we'll cover only broadband distribution services in the building. All right, Category 1. This is where it's quite assured from what I've heard. Web hosting is costing us $13,000 a year. So that's no longer going to be eligible. So we're going to have to pay that completely as opposed to paying 20% to the dollar. Currently, we are getting 80% discount. Email is $12,000 a year. Again, we're paying 20 cents to the dollar. We're going to have to pay the whole amount if we continue with the hosted exchange server. Okay, so what is our discount? So we used to be 80%. Now we're down to 60%. It's all based on the National School Lunch Program. And we're currently at 40% students are on free or reduced, combined, free or reduced. So you see the range is 35% to 49%. Okay, for us to get from 40% to 49%, that would be a huge number of students that we have to identify for free or reduced. So we are somewhat secure in the 60% discount range, and we use the total enrollment and information, and Marianne, we've been looking at this for other funding from the state as well, but this is a federal program. Maximizing cost effectiveness. All right, there's a QR code right there. And that connects to what we posted 2 weeks ago. So there's a timeline we gotta follow. We're a bit behind the schedule right now, but the posting allows us to get the lowest corresponding price, get different vendors to bid or to provide us to apply to our requests. So there's a QR code that goes there. We prefer master contract, TSAs, etc. Consortium purchasing encouraged. Okay, will we get Category 2 funding? This was whether or not we might modify. If in an optimistic situation, if schools apply for 70%, so let's say this scenario, and Category 2 is $150 per student. We have 6,079 students. So we qualify, we might be getting a lot of money. But if 70% of the schools apply for this, and no libraries apply, and the $1 billion roll for the first 2 years, Category 1 demand, let's say it's $2.7 billion, et cetera, then we might get some money. But in a pessimistic situation, schools, let's say all schools apply, 100% of the schools apply, then most likely we're not going to get any funding. All right, so those are some of the variables we cannot control. Okay, so if we get Category 2, it amounts to $150 per student, and we get 60% of that. Okay, so we pay 40% upfront, and then 60% is paid by the federal government. If we get it, we can spend it all in 1 year or spread it out across 5 years, but not longer, not beyond 5 years. Okay, so what are some of the recommendations? Caching. Caching, again, the whole idea is we want to, it allows for local distribution of updates and content so that not all the computers are hitting the servers outside of the network. So caching applies to web and WAN caching. WAN is wide area network. And again, the managed internal broadband services, MIBs. This is new to me, okay? And this is what I discovered. It's about operation, management, monitoring, repair of local area network components, and may include leased equipment. And my understanding of MIBs is that you can outsource this to the professionals that do this. Ineligible components must be cost allocated, and cloud W control the charges. So cloud-based computing, highly encouraged. All right, that's it. Do you have any questions about this?
Questions, comments? Ask a question.
Ask a question, yes. Okay, I absolutely will. Okay, I was going to ask something here earlier. Okay, so based on what, and this is state, correct? This is state. Federal, I'm sorry. Okay, so with some of the changes that we're seeing on the horizon, as each revision goes, it's very clear that the focus is on broadband and it's not so much with other things. So, and that would obviously mean that we're going to be burdening a lot of the cost. In many years, I've been following these transitions, and as schools across the country have been adopting to it, I think at some point down the road, we'll be looking at this as well. But clearly, it looks like cloud computing will be something that we would have to look at probably in a more serious way. But at the same time, I like the fact that the government has decided that we need to provide a greater level of access for students, not just in our district, but across the country. I look forward to hearing more about this, because some of this is really, really new to me. But As far as category 2 funding, I'm not going to be pessimistic, but I would be surprised if not all the schools applied for this, because clearly, we could use everything that we got, so. And I'm learning some of these too, so actually I don't really know all of these terminologies. I know a lot, but I don't know every single one, so. That's, thank you, Mike, for sharing that with us.
Member Bell, being a board member means you never have to admit you don't know something. So as far as the cloud computing or other things, if we get funding from them, then we could use it towards that. That would be a piece of our overall technology program. Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Now this is also a program that was interesting to me. I didn't know a lot about. Member Nolenberg, any questions?
Okay, just one. How much money did the federal government put into this program?
Initially, my understanding was under $2 billion, now it's 3.5. They really ramped it up.
And in the previous years, most of that money was gone with, they called it priority ones.
Yes.
But it wiped out almost all the money. They never got to priority twos.
Right.
So is priority twos equal to
Category 2.
category twos?
Just a rehashing, and this is version 2.0. The emphasis has changed from telecommunications to broadband.
And then we're gonna be now budgeting for additional costs, depending on how much we do get.
Yes, the area where I want to emphasize is where it's going to hit us most. We see the web hosting of $13,000 a year, that it's no longer eligible for the discount. And then email, $12,000 a year. And the discount rate for us, because of the National School Lunch Program, has gone down from 80% to 60%. So we are, instead of paying 20%, 20 cents to the dollar, we're going to pay 40 cents to the dollar. So those three areas are going to really hit us.
You recall how much money we spent last year?
I know Mr. Block's budget was $200,000 a year, and $150,000 was on things like this.
So that's gonna be increased by at least 20%, maybe a little more.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to our discussion action agenda, where we will have discussion and we may take action. Item number 18, I'm going to make a motion to approve the annual updates of the single plans for student achievement for all schools. May I have a second, please?
Second.
That would be a second by Member Nolenberg. Questions or comments about these plans?
Is there gonna be some general presentation by Kate or anybody?
Hold that thought.
Excuse me just for a moment. Okay, thank you. On behalf of the sites, the school site councils and the principals, we bring before you tonight our single plans for student achievement. This is a routine item, an annual item that we bring to you. So some of the goals set in previous years may look familiar to you. For example, it is suggested at the high school level that they align their goals to their WASP accreditation, which is occurring this Sunday, next Sunday. And as you know, the board's invited to participate in that as well. And so collectively, our sites have about 15 goals that they have identified and outlined. And what we asked our school site councils and our principals to do is to look at the chart that we had created for the LCAP plan, and you'll see in the executive summary on page 4, a chart that captures the interrelatedness of the goals that the sites are working on, not just in their plans, but also a site initiative, as well as to that of the LCAP plan. And so you'll see a handout that looks like this, a landscape handout identifying the number of the goal in the action step would be like 1.1, and then CS would represent centralized services. That means what the district is supporting the sites with additional monies. And SI is the site initiative that might be funded under LCFF, which parlays into our LCAP plan. And so we're really trying to make this a seamless connection between what we do and the monies that are needed and allocated to the sites for the good work that they're doing in closing the achievement gap. At this point in time, most of the sites are restricted now to Title I, Title II, Title III monies, and then 1 or 2 sites had some carryover money from the state side of the house. But everything meets the compliance as required by the state of California. So we'd like to certify them tonight.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Well, I want to thank you for leading the preparation of these items and to the principals. One of them is still here. For leading the school site councils in preparing these. And to all the participants on the school site councils, who we may have members of here present. And when I go through these plans, and one thing I look at, there's not a lot of opportunities that we get actually to look at data from our students, and so these plans set forth, for example, proficiency percentages for the schools at different grade levels, different years, and I don't want to belabor the point, but I look at those with interest, and I noted in certain circumstances, there's some changes. Some schools are often very consistent, and some schools are maybe not quite as consistent. So I don't know if that's sort of a separate subject, really, than approving the plans. I again appreciate you preparing the documents, and I'm happy to go ahead and approve them tonight. Do we have other questions or comments about them? No? Okay, just the 3 of us tonight. All right, well, let's have a vote. All in favor? Aye. Aye. That would be 3-0. Thank you. Okay, item number 19, which is to adopt Resolution 1415-22, encouraging the Los Angeles County Office of Education Superintendent and Board of Education to continue funding to support career technical education and regional occupational programs. So I will make a motion to adopt that resolution.
Second.
And that's a second by Member Nolenberg. And Ms. Perini, do you want to briefly describe what the resolution is?
Sure, Mr. Palmer, thank you. The LA County Office of Education now it's called a pass-through. They now accept the $24.7 million that they have always received it, but it used to be doled out to the various school districts throughout LA County. Because of the local control funding formula, the understanding was that ROP no longer was going to be funded through the dollars that pass through the county office, but would be funded through LCFF. The problem with that is there's $24.7 million, as I indicated, that went through the county and that was doled out. The county functions much like a district in that the dollars come in and then they can ascertain how the dollars are to be used. The county, because of the local control funding formula, opted to have the money remain at the county office and have the school districts be responsible for absorbing through the LCFF the ROP program, and then having the opportunity for districts to apply for the career technical education grants. So obviously that was very concerning to us as superintendents across the region, because it is, as you can see for Temple City, it affects almost $350,000 of our budget. So what we did in brief is we had a joint meeting up in Monterey with the superintendents. We met with Dr. Delgado and expressed our concern. Then subsequent to that, we prepared some additional documents supporting the importance of the understanding that we understand that the county office can do as they wish with the dollars. However, we were asking for what is called a soft landing, where they would kind of step us down. As of this morning, the proposal now from LACO is a 30% instead of 100%. So school districts would receive 30% of the funding with the understanding that they will support us in writing the CTE grant. So with that said, the resolution still stands. We feel collectively as superintendents across the region that it's important for Dr. Delgado and their board to understand that we realize the change in funding. However, comes to us at a time where the local control funding formula does not fully support ROP, and there is no guarantee that each district receives CTE funding that will backfill, if you will, the differential for what the dollars that we used to get coming through the county office. So that is kind of a snapshot of what is described in your agenda report and summary of the process that we've gone through as superintendents across the region.
Thank you, and CTE stands for?
The Career Technical Education.
Okay, thank you, yes. Thank you for working with the other districts on this issue. If I could ask a quick question, an example at our high school of an ROP class or a program that would be affected by this? Maybe just one or two examples.
We have woodshop is an example, as well as we have an entrepreneur class that Kim Allen teaches. That's where the students learn how to market and design product and sell product and cook product. And so those are two that come to mind.
In addition to that, it also, some of our connections with PCC are funded through our ROP program, and we expressed to to Dr. Delgado that these programs often reach students that the county office and all of us are most concerned about, and those are students that maybe are not as engaged in school, and it gives them an opportunity to think of a future, a career, and also gives us options for our students going forward. So there are 16 total classes, and in addition to that, approximately 81% of our Career Center is funded by ROP dollars. So it's for us a majority, a large portion of our dollars goes towards funding our Career Center.
Other comments, questions? Member Bill.
Okay, so, as I understand, your very clear explanation is that LACO sees ROP funds more as a part of our local control funding, our LCFF formula, but yet, clearly it's not quite that to be true, since we're going to have this shortfall. What has LACO stated, or have they stated in terms of how they're going to use these additional funds, or is it just simply because they no longer have these additional funds?
No, they have the funds. They used to come to us, but now there was a maintenance of effort for 2 years where they had to support ROP. This is something we knew was coming, but no one thought that they would really keep all of the money at the county office. People felt that this is so important that the county office would still provide money to school districts. We knew it wouldn't be all the money because of LCFF, but no one thought across the region that the county office, and they gave no indication that they were going to keep all of the money because there had been a lot of discussion about the step-down approach where we would get, like we asked for a minimum this year, for example, collectively of 50%. Obviously we'd love 100%, but we knew that wasn't going to be reality. What we understand, there is a lot of emphasis right now through the county office in funding for other students, and also LACO has gone through much of what we went through as school districts where they had cuts as well. So they're in the process of using those dollars to restore some of their cuts as well.
I just want to mention too, some of these classes are offered outside of like your regular school hours too, and offer like additional certifications. For example, there's an ROP lifeguard class where you can become a certified lifeguard. I had a friend who did the class, who took the class and was able to then get a summer job as a lifeguard because she had that certification. And same thing with the culinary arts class. Part of the class is to work in a culinary capacity, like at a restaurant or something like that, that gives kids work experience to put on their resume. And so that's another benefit of having these
Sure.
classes.
That's great. Now, if there are classes like that that are outside of class time, are students from other districts coming, or is it our students that are being served?
Mostly it's our students being served, but it's open to anybody in the San Diego region.
Thank you. Member Nolan?
Yes, right now the proposal from Lake Laco is they give us 30%, and then I assume the next year they give us nothing.
Correct.
And so for our 3-year budget, then we're gonna have 2 years where we're gonna have to be, as it is now being proposed by Laco, we will have at least 2 out years where we'll have zero income from this. So
Right, and eventually, before we started negotiating where we are with LACO, we didn't receive anything for any of the school districts, all 23 school districts. The amount we would receive from them was going to be nothing for this year. So that's when we started deciding that we, functioning together, with the leadership of one of the other superintendents in the district, we felt that we had more strength in meeting, and that's when we asked for a personal meeting with Dr. Delgado in Monterey, since we knew we would all be together and he was there. And then subsequent to that, we've continued to dialogue with him and through a number of conference calls, one large conference call just last week, sharing our concern for programs. We understand it has to be done, it's just the way it's being done. It doesn't really allow districts a lot of time to prepare because we feel so valuable, but they feel that there really will be funding that will come, so they're not overly concerned about it. In addition to that, of the CTE grant, and the thing that we're worried about for the grant is it is a grant. You have to apply for it, you have to qualify for it. It is not initially the way that was presented to us is, well, that's your backfill money, you are going to get grants. And we said, but we are also competing. So now we're talking about, we feel there's more strength in us going together as districts, together to ask for the grant funding as a consortium.
How many groups do you think will do the resolution?
Every district,
How's that number though?
23. There's 23 school
And
districts.
then most of this is for the high school, the 225 students at the high school?
400, over 400 students, and but that doesn't count the students like Annika's referring to that are also served through other programs. Because they're not considered total students, they touch the ROP program. The impact is actually larger because when you look at the amount of students that go through the Career Center, but we don't really have in fairness to the resolution, we didn't want to put numbers in that were not solid numbers because they vary.
Okay. Wow. I think this is an appropriate time to also say that a week ago, Ms. Perini and Dr. Franciscini and I went to an event put on by the Los Angeles County School Trustees Association where Assemblymember Chris Holden presented regarding a bill that he has related to ROP programs and also dual enrollment between high school and college. So it touched on some of these same issues, and I very much appreciate both of their presence at that and our district showing an interest in these types of programs. And on behalf of the board, when it comes to this money, I should say fight on. Should I? Okay. I think, do we have a motion? I made a motion, right? Yeah. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Nolenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Pomeroy?
Yes. Okay, I put us behind schedule. Okay, item number 20. May I have a motion to approve the 2015-2016 Board of Education meeting calendar?
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion by member Bell, second by member Nolenberg. The calendar is set forth in our agenda packet. Item number 20. Are there any notable difference is there's still the same months where we have one meeting as we've had in the past. Is that right?
That's correct. The only thing that's important to note in September, the one meeting is because of Yom Kippur, which is the 22nd and 23rd.
Okay, thank you. Any questions about it or comments? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Aye. That's 3-0. Moving on, item number 21, receive for second reading and approve revised board policies as set forth in item 21 on the agenda. I will make a motion to receive and approve those revised board policies.
Second.
Second by member Nolenberg. So these pertain to bullying, tobacco, suspension and expulsion, non-discrimination, harassment, and sexual harassment. Any comments or questions about those? And I know when we had our first reading, we looked at the tobacco one and discussed e-cigarettes, which we saw were referenced in this policy explicitly, basically treated as the same as other tobacco products. Thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's 3-0. Moving on, item number 22. I will make a motion to approve the 2014-2015 contract for financial report audits with Moss, Levy, and Hartzheim in the amount of $22,955. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by member Nolenberg. Let's see, do we have any presentation or questions about this one? We are, so it's proposed, I know there were a few responses, but it's proposed that we hire again the same firm and possibly have a different auditor within that firm, or how would that work?
Partner.
It would be a different audit partner.
Audit partner, thank you. Okay.
Are we looking at 1 year or 3 years?
This contract would be for 1 year.
Okay.
What would member Ridley ask? Member Ridley would say that in his experience, changing auditors can be helpful. However, if we're satisfied with the services that we're getting, and since Ms. Sorrell, you're within your first year still, what did I say?
First few months.
Well, officially, okay. I mean, how are you satisfied with their services?
I'm very satisfied with them. They're always timely. They're very thorough. They're a good resource when we have questions. One thing that does come up often and people discuss because of things that happened out in the the private sector with audit firms is you can get the same effect if you change audit partners, that you have a fresh set of eyes looking at things without changing the firm altogether. And that's been approved by public and private accounting boards and agencies.
Thank you, and I note that the cost that they they gave us it was not the lowest, but it was close to the lowest bid, and there was at least one that was quite a bit higher. Other questions or comments?
Just a comment?
Yes, member Nolenberg.
I think it's good to be able to have an accounting firm that already has some background, already has some working papers and et cetera, so they don't have to spend the first year learning the process and everything.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. Now, item 23, to reject all bids received for the Cloverly Elementary School Modernization Project. Now, do we have, there's not a report on this. Is there a report on this?
That was set before.
Okay, all right, so
I'll make a motion, we reject the bids.
member Nolenberg has made a motion that we reject the bids. I will second that motion. So there were not sufficient acceptable bids received in the first round for this project. Is that right?
Yes.
That's right, okay. All right, well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Let's see, that may have that will have the effect of changing the timing of the Cloverly project a little bit. Is that right?
The start time, but not the completion date.
Okay, and can you remind us what the completion date is?
For Cloverly, the completion is next April.
Okay, all right. Now, so start time, obviously there would be another bidding process. So if there's a bid approved in the next round, it would not change the completion date.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Do we have other questions or comments about it? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's 3-0. Item number 24, I'll make a motion to reject all bids received for the La Rosa Elementary School Modernization Project.
Second.
Second by member Nolenberg. So same question as this round, there just was not an acceptable bid, appropriate bid. Okay, and as far as the timing goes?
It's the same completion date, which is December of this year.
Okay, all right, well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for the next round of bids. Do we have other comments about this? Or questions? Okay, all in favor? Aye. That's 3-0. Okay, item number 25. I will make a motion to accept the receipt of bids and award a contract for the Dr. Doug Sears Learning Center New Administration and Classroom Building Project to ABNY General Engineering in the amount of $237,000.
Second.
Second by member Nolenberg. And this is, let's see, item 25. So we have an agenda report. Questions or comments? Is this the lowest bid? He proceeds to the podium.
Yes, this is the lowest bid. The
Okay.
lowest responsible bid.
Thank you.
Just one question.
Please, member Nolenberg.
Yes, have we in the past had fire alarm systems as part of the contract?
They're in all of the new and modernization contracts.
Okay. Because it was part of the bond issue.
Yes.
Is to have a fire alarm system. Okay.
And so I'm looking at the fiscal impact memo, or portion of the memo. So the 237,000, when added to what was previously approved, not necessarily spent, but previously approved, then the amount left of the budget is the $4,857.28. Is that
Yes.
right? Okay, I'm reading that correctly. Okay. Which would be allocated to construction contingency for all projects or for this project?
For this project in particular.
Okay, all right. Any other questions or comments about that?
What's the date for this now?
We hope to start on Monday.
Did you knock down the building already?
Yes.
Okay.
Building's gone.
All right, we approve it and they start on Monday. Sounds good. Any other comments or questions? Anything else we need to know?
Only that we are, if you want to see the buildings, the demolition, we are putting that up on the website, so.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Aye. That's 3-0. Thank you. And then item number 26. Let's see. I will make a motion to approve the notice of completion and release of retention for Lettner Roofing Company for the Longden Elementary School roof replacement project. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Second by member Nolenberg. And so this is because the project was completed, the budgeted amount was $50,000, and the actual amount spent was $44,833, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Slightly under budget. Other questions or comments? Member Nolenberg?
Just what, the buildings that these were done on are the portable classrooms. What's the economic life, and when does it expire on these buildings?
Well, you'll recall we discussed these buildings before. They were checked thoroughly to ensure that they were worth us even roofing them. Off the top of my head, I can't recall, Mr. Schaefer might recall the life expectancy, but we were assured that with the condition of the buildings, with proper roofs, that we would get a lot more, but as far as exact years, off the top of my head, I can't recall for you.
I don't know the exact time either. It's at least 15 years.
But we did discuss taking those down if they were not worth us making an investment in.
No, my point is that spending money in the sense of deferred maintenance on these buildings helped us not have to replace them when we done it. I would have expired.
Right.
So this is a prudent, I think, prudent investment in our infrastructure. Saves us bond money, saves us long-term costs, et cetera. So it's well worth, I think well worth concentrating on those portable buildings that are in other school sites and to ensure that we keep them in good operating condition to get maximum economic life out of each one of them. That's that was my observation, really.
Thank you. Anything else? All in favor? Aye. That's 3-0. Consent agenda, routine items approved by one motion and one vote, unless a member of the board or a member of the audience requests that any item be reviewed and voted upon separately. So, items 27 through 31, are there any requests to consider and vote upon any of these items separately? Okay, hearing none, I will make a motion to approve items 27 through 31 on the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by member Nolenberg. Comments, questions? I would just say,
Just an observation. On number
yes, go ahead.
28,
Yes.
the overtime, $5,000 a month, is becoming a regular, and in one sense, it's kind of distorted because some of the costs that we consider overtime, people, as I understand it, some of these are reimbursed by different groups. So technically, it's really not overtime in the sense that it comes out of our basic funding because somebody else added money into the pot.
If you take a glance at the bottom of that spreadsheet, you'll see a total for the reimbursable amount,
Okay.
and then the unreimbursable, and then the total overtime at the bottom right.
Okay.
And this is again for the period of January 14th to February 10th. Is that right?
Yes.
I'll just, to reassure the board too, that we're continuing to be good stewards of the money that's in our charge, that we review each of the overtime reports and spend quite a bit of time discussing and questioning to ensure that the overtime is truly necessary, that is overtime, anything that's not in the reimbursable nature.
Thank you. I would just make a comment, let's see. Item number 29, where we're being asked to approve a trip for the Brighter Side Seniors to a competition in late May. Assuming we approve it, which I hope we do, I'd like to hear about it afterwards. Other comments or questions? Member Bell? No. Member Nolenberg?
No.
Okay. All right, the motion is to approve the items on the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's 3-0. Okay, moving on, we're now at item 32, which are board member requests for information or requests for future agenda items. Did I not do 30 and 31?
Okay.
It was part of the consent motion, was it not, 27 through 31, did I say? I think so.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay, you still get to talk because we have requests for information or future agenda items. Anything? Yeah, go ahead, Member Nolenberg.
Okay. I just kind of like a general report, just so that the public is aware that we took any proactive positions on the measles problem, since it seems to be in the news all the time. So that they're at ease and they're comfort, they have a comfort feeling. And also, I guess whether it's a study or a strategy that needs to be developed, I think, for community outreach, since some of the plans that we have parents' involvement, but some of the parents' involvement are for people who have English as a second language, and in some cases, those parents may have problems with English themselves, and I'm kind of concerned about what we're doing to help the parents, in a sense, for outreach, and also what we're doing to get more volunteers, not only of the people in the school system itself, but the community itself, to help us with a lot of the projects that we have.
No, not really. Okay, thank you, Member Nolenberg. Let's see. I don't think I have any specific requests at this time. So, last chance.
One other one?
Yes, go ahead.
And I can't recall, I think we had didn't we fund some money to do an energy study? I don't know if we did or not, but it seems that we need some type of energy plan or something to help. It's a significant cost to us. Energy is a cost, ongoing and continuous, especially with the computers and stuff. And I'd like to see somewhere where we're starting to take a hard look at how we conserve and drive down some of that cost that we may have some control over.
Okay. All right, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by member Nolenberg, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.